In this video, I will show how to create curved text around curved objects like a hollow cylinder and a solid cylinder in preparation for 3D printing in two colors. In a previous video I made a couple of years ago, I showed how to make the curved letters, and that the cylinder itself had to have a hole that the letters would fit perfectly into. Now that all worked okay, but I've just discovered that this step here, making holes into the cylinder, is really not necessary, and this video shows how to go about doing basically the same thing without this step. The technique for getting these texts to curve around the surface of the cylinders is basically the same, but there's one case in which you have to be careful of the difference between the two, which I'll get to. Let's start with this one first. So let's bring the text here a little closer, and then this black handle will get and extend this into the cylinder. Now, if we look from the top, it doesn't matter how far we go into it. Just make sure that the edge letters are within the wall. When there's a cutting process that occurs, and whether it's this far or this far doesn't matter, because it'll end up being the thickness of the wall. So let's go through the technique here. First, before we forget, always duplicate this cylinder and use the right arrow key to go to the right. And we use the arrow keys to make sure that there's always an alignment. Having everything perfectly aligned is important, as we'll see later when we work in the slicer. So, coming back here, we're now going to bring out a box here. I'll change it to yellow just for a contrasting color. And we're going to cover everything, just about. And raise this to cover everything, and the letters should protrude. Now it doesn't matter how much they protrude, as long as they come out a little bit. So first step then is click on the text, turn it into a hole. Holding the shift down key, click on the yellow box. We have two shapes now which we will combine. While they're still selected, turn everything into a hole, and now anywhere here you can just grab these two shapes, and combine them, and that will give us our curved letter. And you can see now they are just the thickness of the cylinder. So let's change the color here, say to yellow, and bring the cylinder over using the left arrow key. And we'll align them. You can align them just like this by eye, or grab the two of them and use the align symbol here. You can see the grayed out means they're already aligned. So that's fine. Now we have two items here which will be exported and then eventually get into the slicer. I'll do that in a minute. Coming now to the solid cylinder. We'll do the same thing here. Bring this closer and then extend the text in here. Now, if we click on the cylinder and press T for transparent, we can see how far we're going in. Now, in this case, it does make a difference how far we go in. Let me click on here, because if we go in far, the letters will be this thick. That will require a lot of filament and time to be printed, which we don't need. So we're going to withdraw this to the edge of the cylinder here. Make sure we don't go too far back, but we must be sure we clear at this end and this end, and this will minimize the thickness of the letters. Okay, so if we go back to T for transparency, now we'll do the same thing, and I'll do this quickly. You can see now the letters are thicker than they were in this case. Let's get a different color here, and now bring this over. Oh, actually notice I didn't go deep enough because the T is cut off. So this really has to be redone. I have to go further into the solid to make sure I got all the letters. So now we've got the full text shown here. Get them both. You can do it this way and click on Align. This is already done. Okay, so that's it. Transparent, and look at this. We can see that the letters go in this deep, and the printing will go into this deep, whereas over here it will just be flush on the inside of the wall. Now we're ready for exporting. I'll just do it with the hollow cylinder. Everything applies as well to the solid one. So click on Text, go to Export, and see the selected shape, which selected that one shape. And this will be saved then either on your desktop or flash drive or wherever you like, and named appropriately, say text. Then click on the cylinder, export again, the selected shape, and that's done. And now we'll go into the slicer. Now I've opened my slicer. This is the Snapmaker Orca, and this will be the same procedure as with Orca Slicer and Prusa Slicer. So I will add first the hollow cylinder right here, and now right click on here and go to Add Part. Again, this works with just Orca and Prusa Slicer. Go to Load, and now we're going to look for the text. In order to see this, go to Objects, here's text, click on it twice, up, and this is the yellow, this is the second extruder, and it is perfectly aligned here because it was aligned correctly in Tinkercad. You'll recall I said to use the arrow keys left and right to keep everything in alignment, and it was for this reason, so that it lines up perfectly in the slicer. I've already set up the prime tower because there's going to be two colors here. We're now ready to slice, which is not necessary to do here. If you want, so this is quite flush. If you want, you can click here on text, and if we look at it from the side, we can go up here and move it slightly. If you want it to jut out slightly, we can do it like that. So now it's ready for printing with any printer that has two extruders. As an afterthought, let me show how this can be applied to making an ornament like this. I'll unhide these objects. So here is a snowflake that can, there are a couple of good videos on YouTube that show how you can make your own. And this sphere, if I press T, you can see it's been 4 millimeters thick, the walls, and the rest is hollow. So we take the snowflake, let's raise it up approximately, and collect the sphere, align them in the middle here, And now, bring it a little bit, take the snowflake, and I'm going to make it found 10, make it thick by 10 millimeters or so. And then bring it into it a little bit. We can extend it because it's in a hollow. Remember, it doesn't matter how far we go in as long as the edges go inside those walls. So that's nice. We'll go back to the front. Again, duplicate, Control D, and move our sphere just using the arrow key to keep everything in alignment. And now we'll just use the same technique of curving the snowflake, bring out a box, combine, and here is our, with just a slight curve to fit the sphere. I'll change the color to white and bring the sphere over. Like that. Alright, now it is flush on the surface, so I will click on it and bring it out by a very small amount. Go down here, I change this to 0.1 and move it out 1 or 2, maybe 0.2, and it gives it a little pop out. I guess if I look over here, I've got it even more, so you can vary that as you wish. And then duplicate this and move it right to the back. Oh, let's go back, change this to 1, so it'll be more efficient bringing it out here. Now when it gets out here, we need to flip it around, so we go to the mirror here and flip it in this direction, and there it is. Okay, so that's sticking out a little bit more. See, just play with how much you want to have it projected. Combine the two, turn them around, and you can bring in a second snowflake, and eventually, and then add the top here, and then you'll get this nice ornament. I won't waste your time by going through all the procedure. You have all the techniques, and I guess that's it then.